Hello, my name is Reuben Gurung, and my student number is 114130 114130. This is my micro teaching reflection of the primary ELT2 submission, and I'm teaching a portion of the pre-writing stage, which is called Activity 2 Model Example. Now, to give you background, the students are primary 5. They are proficient in English. Their relevant prior knowledge is that they identify and use want to, be going to, and so from their reading lessons. Another prior knowledge is that they can identify and use simple present tense. The lesson objectives for this particular lesson is to exhibit an understanding of want to, be going to, and so in the context of a diary entry. My lesson's hidden goal is also to familiarize students with the unique features of a diary entry. For the activity, as said, it is called Activity 2 Model Example. This is like a deconstruction through a social constructivist and process writing approach. In the lesson, I will show an example of a diary entry and will teach the unique features of it verbally with the class. I also identify the use of grammar in the context of a diary, and students are assessed verbally and are taught only using the PowerPoint. The teacher also points out some tricks like agreement and other form of so that students need to pay attention to. Now, this lesson is more like students familiarizing themselves with the diary entry, but I just want to remind whoever's watching this is that the materials that prepared in this class were not done by me, and I am solely just teaching what I have got. So yes, so I'm just teaching, and I think it should be just graded because of my teaching, not because of the materials. Yes. Okay. So moving on here. So this is my reflection. Uh I can see after talking to my classmates and concluding what they have said, I think I can say that I have great signaling skills and giving instructions in terms of the language of instructions. But I also want to add that my fluency is some people might be put off by my fluency because if a native speaker were to speak as fast as me, then they wouldn't be able to let students catch up, especially students in the context of Hong Kong. However, I have great fluency and I use an appropriate amount of speed so that students are able to catch up, which is my personal belief. Another thing is, like I said, signaling skills and giving instructions. Even though this is a very small portion of the class, in the pre-writing stage, there's no need to split into different segments. But I think that I used a lot of body language and leading questions, which I can show you now. Let me just get this on. Okay, share screen. Yes. Okay, wait, give me a second. Share screen. There we go. Okay, so hopefully you'll be able to see my screen. Yes. For example, one of my leading questions in the beginning would be here at 13:39.
Sure.
It is like a lecture, but are you sending it to someone?
No.
Oh, you're sending it to yourself. You're writing it down on your diary, okay? So as you can see, this is an example of leading question. After Eliza answered her question, I add on and asked if she needed to do this or that, and I purposefully left a gap so that she can answer for herself. And therefore, I'm not purely just doing teacher talk, but also allowing students to participate in answering the question. Another point of this would be in 1523. So that we can show that we're going to do an action that's going to achieve what? Achieve what? And I'm using hand gestures and pointing exactly what I'm trying to say, which is to achieve the previous sentence, which is the set it goal, which is using the want to grammar. Besides that, I also have a lot of again, body language, which I can show at 12:56, 12:56, around here.
Going to.
Yes, and 1, 2, we talk about our goal. Very good. And then we use so to.
I feel like because of the body language, the students have an idea of when to answer the questions, and that's where students are invited to answer the questions. So I think that is a really good point. Another point is that I use good amount of imperatives so that students can understand and remember the unique features of a diary entry. Now, let's see over here.
Remember, if you're talking about someone else, John especially, we have to put S, okay? And then you can write.
So I use remember as the imperative and explain to students that John needs to be accompanied with an agreement. So John wants. So yeah.
And he's going to.
Okay, another thing is that I also did a lot of some classroom management. Like, for example, when Kieran was about to answer, Anson cut her off, but I didn't want that to happen to any of my students. So I let her finish her answer. So here.
Use to show their goal again. Simple present tense.
You can hear a little bit of Kieran's voice, but Anson answered the question.
Very good, simple present tense. But Kieran, you were about to say? Want? Yes, want to. Both of you are correct. Want to, and then we show the result of the action. So we use what? So good. And then last but not.
So these are some of my good points. I have some good points in giving instructions and signaling, but I also have some bad points in presenting and explaining ideas or content explanation and giving instruction as well. Because there in the video, there is an absence. I can tell you for sure that there is an absence of me telling students what is the purpose of this segment of the class, which is important because I think that students should be able to understand why are they doing this activity and how is this going to help them. Of course, they understand that this is tied to their assignment, but if you verbalize this purpose, then I think it would be much better. Another thing is that because I didn't have enough teacher talk, that I talked fast. When teachers are flustered, they kind of speed up the process of talking, and in which makes the students not understand what they're listening. And hence, because I didn't have any teacher talk and I didn't prepare any not didn't prepare, but I didn't remember how to explain the vocabulary or grammar, it made me sped up and made my students not understand it, while also making me not sound clear. Now let me just show you that example, which is coming up.
We show the result of the action, right? Go.
So here's me clustering.
Why do we use going to after some?
And here's me speeding up, which is not what a teacher should supposed to do. In a calm situation, they should talk slow and normally so that the students can understand and get what they're trying to say. Another example of this is that I use the phrase special one instead of actually using the actual word, which is features.
Then you can, and also there's also one more special one.
Special one, see? So I'm not supposed to use special one. I'm supposed to use some teacher talk that should be prepared before the lesson, but however, I failed to do so. So my two good areas is that I can give some instructions, some of it, and I have excellent signaling. However, I have bad presenting or content explanation, and some parts in giving instructions. So there's that. I feel like as a group, so I'm gonna stop sharing screen. I feel like as a group we've talked about how the teacher should be in control of what they say in a slow and precise manner, in primary especially, because students are learning a second language and they should be able to catch up every single detail and every word that the teacher says. So it's vital for the teacher to prepare teacher talk when it comes to presenting ideas that students might not be familiar, especially when we're presenting ideas in a context. And it's important to explain the grammar rules, because students learn grammar just because of through writing for writing. But for me, I need to teach students in a more writing for no writing for writing context. Uh, Scratch that, the students normally in Hong Kong would do writing for learning, which is like route sentence making, and then sentence structures, which is not really useful. Instead, I think that students should be using a grammar in context, which is writing for writing, and they're able to learn it. And for me, I need to explain that in this lesson, which I failed to do. So that is where I think I should be improving. And I think that with all of this combined, I think that as a group, we've learned that in primary school, it's vital for us to speak slower and to prepare teacher talk in every lesson that we're going to conduct our class. Unless the students are going to do their material, do their work by themselves, and we don't have to explain complex ideas like grammar and vocabulary. So yes, as you can see, this is my micro teaching reflection. Thank you.